My ex-husband was all chill and happy vibes divorcing me to be with his much younger affair partner, but now that she got bored and dumped him to the curb, he's the most depressed I've ever seen and actually spends more time with our daughter, and I'm pissed he didn't have this energy before. Posted by you/inevitable game 340. I, 32F, was married to Cam, 34M, for 6 years and together for 16 years in total. We also share a daughter, Mia, 4F. A bit of background, I was a stay-at-home mom and he worked, but I noticed he was coming home late. He started getting angry a lot, was always on his phone, and I had previously caught him looking at this girl's Instagram story, but I didn't think much of it. Shortly after, I found out he was cheating on me with Sky, now 19F, yeah, barely legal. When I found out, obviously I was hurt, but I was also completely disgusted that he was cheating and willing to ruin our family for her. I became a stay-at-home mom when my daughter was born, and we had an agreement that he would be in charge of our money and would just give me his card to use if I needed to buy anything. I wasn't making any income except for the money I had saved before having our daughter, which I kept in my bank account for emergencies. I felt stuck because I didn't know what to do, and for my daughter's sake, I didn't end up leaving. I got suspicious and looked through his followings on Facebook and Instagram. I found the girl whose story he had been viewing on Instagram and assumed it might have been her, so I sent her a DM. Long story short, she was rude as hell. She had zero remorse and kept telling me to bother my husband, who cheated, instead of her. She was aware he had a wife and family but didn't care and even told me he was paying her tuition. I got mad and told her to stay away from my husband, but she just said she would keep going and that it was just fun. After that, I guess she told my husband, and I think he realized I wasn't leaving. He literally started leaving his location on, even when he went to her college campus, which really pissed me off because I couldn't believe he was ruining everything we had for some girl who wasn't even serious about him, and not even legal to drink yet. Our daughter, Mia, attends ballet, and they had a performance. This was really my breaking point because our child should have always come first. He was out all night that Friday, and Saturday was the recital. Obviously, he needed to be there for Mia's first recital. I gave him until 11 p.m., then I finally called him, and guess who picked up the phone? Sky. She told me he was busy and then hung up. That was my breaking point. I quickly packed some of mine and Mia's stuff, woke her up, and we went to my mom's house, who didn't live far. We crashed there for the night because I didn't want him to come home to us, nor did I want to see him when I woke up. That was a year ago. Now we're divorced, and I have full custody of Mia while he has visitation rights. I got a job, saved up, and now live in an apartment. While it's not the best, it's good for me and Mia for the time being. Anyways, after the divorce, they ended up getting together for a couple of months. While they were together, he was visiting Mia, but not as often, I'd say like twice a month. To nobody's surprise, she ended up leaving him after a couple of months. Ever since they broke up, he's been depressed. He drinks a lot, doesn't eat much, is always sulking on the couch, and just isn't himself. He comes over more often to see Mia, which is why I know this, and I feel a certain way. He's all depressed because she left, but didn't have this energy when we divorced after being together for 16 years. When we divorced, he didn't seem to care at all. He was just nonchalant about it and kept messing around with Sky. But now that this girl you were barely with left you, you're depressed? I know he's going through it, but I can't help but feel a certain way about this. Am I the jerk for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Get him off your effing couch. Don't let him in your house. If he wants to spend time with your daughter, he can organize it himself. Don't be a fool and get back with him, he's a loser, and you'll be an even bigger loser. Get on with your own life. Make things better for your daughter. Commenter 2. You deserve better. Your ex's plan B is you. He needs, he wants, etc. Honestly, why do you give an F about him? He needs to grow up and be there for his daughter. Mia deserves better, too. That chick deserves to be ignored by all other women for her attitude in sleeping with your now ex. Stop sleeping with him, because it's only fueling his belief that you're okay being his backup. And get an STD test. Ops response. I'm not sleeping with him, and I got a test back when I first found out. I'm all good. I'm not getting back with him, I'm just upset that he didn't show this much care for me. Update 17 hours later. Mini update, I'm so overwhelmed right now, I didn't expect this to escalate so quickly, but it did. Firstly, I want to thank everybody who gave me advice, I really appreciate it all. I'm sorry if I took long to reply to comments. I had a busy morning, especially with a 4-year-old who attends preschool and also hates getting up in the morning. A bit of background about their relationship, at least the stuff I know. The divorce happened last year, so at the time, Sky was 18. I clarified this in the comments, but I'm going to say it again, Cam was the one who offered to pay Sky's tuition, and I think he did that to keep her around. After I found out about the divorce, he would come home angry, call her names, and was mad because she was seeing other guys in college and posting herself going to parties. I don't know how long their affair lasted. All I know is how they met, at least, according to him. Kim told me they met at a club and that he thought Sky was older, but she later told him she had a fake ID. Now, I don't believe he thought that one bit. Sky screams teenager. I could tell from just one peek at her Instagram. She looks super young, dresses like a teenager, has braces, and types/acts just like her age. Cam has visitation rights and comes over to see Mia, which I'm going to make arrangements to change. When he comes over, you can just feel the negative energy by his attitude and the way he looks. While Mia is occupied, that's when he vents to me about Sky, which I don't know why the hell he does. I'll admit I'm stupid for not saying anything. I just let him talk. I pretty much ignore him when he's here, like he doesn't exist, while he just vents randomly. But let me tell you guys what just happened. I'm literally so pissed. My baby gets out of preschool at 2:30, usually my mom picks her up, but I got to leave early, and her ballet practice is at 4 p.m. During ballet practice, you can either leave your kid there or stay in the practice with them. One of my closest girlfriend's daughters also attends the class, and I needed to get groceries for our meals. So, with her permission, I left for a bit. My guess is that Cam gave Sky my number because I genuinely don't see how else she could have gotten it. Anyways, long story short, she has read it and came across my post, and she was pissed about it. Guys, no joke, this little girl and her friends were spamming my phone with calls. She would call me and say horrible things, and then I'd get another call from someone else saying more stuff. This happened about 7 times. The first 2 times, admittedly, I went back and forth with them. But as it kept going, I finally got the hint that they were playing with my phone, so I started recording and just let them yell and insult me. I knew they were all together because when Sky called first, I could hear other girls giggling or saying slick stuff in the background. I didn't get the whole thing on recording because it came out of the blue, so I only got the last few. If I were to file a harassment report about this, would it be valid or not? I blocked them and threatened to call the cops the last time, and they stopped, but seriously, this is childish as hell. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. File harassment charges, absolutely. Also, send all of the information about the affair and all of the recordings of her calls to her mommy and daddy. Ops response. One of my girlfriends is super good at finding people through social media, so I'll definitely send her to look for Sky's parents. Second update 2 weeks later. Hi everybody, I posted on here 2 weeks ago about my situation with my ex-husband. I also posted about how Sky and her friends repeatedly called my phone. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who gave me ideas on what to do about the situation, and I especially want to thank the people who messaged me privately to help me get through this. I also, unfortunately, had pervs in my messages, and no, my daughter doesn't need a stepdad. On to the update, I ended up emailing Sky's school about the harassment. As I mentioned in the mini update, Sky has read it, so she removed the college she attended from her Instagram bio, which she originally had. Sky, I know you're probably reading this, and unfortunately for you, idiot, I didn't forget the school you attend. I emailed them about a day after my mini update, along with photos of my call log, and they finally got back to me this past Monday. They didn't exactly tell me what they did, but to summarize, they basically told me they would take care of it and thanked me for reaching out. Obviously, Sky learned her lesson, as she hasn't contacted me since. Unfortunately, neither my friend nor I could find her parents. She doesn't have a Facebook, only Instagram. She doesn't have many photos up, and the ones she does post don't show her family, just herself. On to my ex. Soon after my post, I called him and set boundaries. I told him if he wanted to see Mia, it had to be done at his home or anywhere but my house. I told him that when it was time for him to pick up Mia, I would walk her to the car, and he has no permission to come inside my home. He didn't take it lightly. He fussed that he was allowed to go into the home his daughter is in. I told him there's no need for that because if he wants to see her and only her, then me bringing her to the car shouldn't be a problem. After a while of fussing, he eventually accepted it. Unfortunately, I was stupid and decided to try to pry my way into knowing more about their past relationship and the affair. I don't believe Sky told Cam about the post or anything, as I think he would have been mad or at least brought it up. Cam opened up a little bit and told me more about their relationship. He said that at first, he and Sky were just hooking up. Before anything serious happened, Sky told him she didn't want a relationship because she wanted to live the college experience, and Cam didn't take that seriously. Eventually, she started talking to other guys, and he noticed her following count go up with more guys whenever she said she was going to an event. He told me he started paying Sky's tuition because she said if he didn't, she would expose him. I'm not sure what he means by expose, since he can't mean exposing him to me. He didn't seem to care when he got caught. But Sky told me that he's the one who offered to pay her tuition, so I don't know which one is telling the truth. He told me he loved Sky but couldn't love her anymore because she was a gold-digging WHRE, even more confusing because Sky literally broke up with him. He also said she didn't listen and that she deserved everything he did to her because there was no reason she should be avoiding him. Mind you, I'm confused as hell. At first, it seemed like he was trying to play the victim, but then he got off topic and just started raging about Sky. I'm baffled. You were literally just crying over this girl? I ended up questioning him because none of it made sense. He ended up yelling at me, telling me to shut the F up and other things. Eventually, I just hung up because I don't have time for that. Like a child, he blocked me. I ended up talking to his mom. I asked if, during Cam's visitation, I could just drop Mia off at her house, and if Cam wanted to see her, he could visit there. She's an amazing grandmother, so she agreed. I told her he blocked me, which shocked her, and she said she would talk to him about it. That's the update for now. Hopefully, Cam gets help because he clearly needs it. I recently started working out, and I even joined a dating app this past Saturday, like some people suggested, and good news, I matched with a ton of people. I'll also share that I've been feeling a bit down thinking about my baby girl. I feel like I made a mistake choosing Cam as her father. I didn't have a good father growing up, so all I wanted was for my kids to have the dad I never had. And at first, Cam was amazing, but now I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's a midlife crisis? Sorry for this long post. Thank you to everyone who helped me. /relevant comments. Commenter. Didn't see the original post, but if she was blackmailing him to pay her tuition, it sounds like he was messing around with her before she became legal. Just a guess. Commenter 2. Exactly, Sky is a dirty little skank, but I have no doubt that when they started, she was underage. So the op's husband is a grooming creep, and you are better off without him. I'd even try to get full custody of your daughter and keep this dirty creep away from Op and Mia. Op's response. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to have that feeling too. At first, I didn't want to believe it, because who would? But it's like every time I asked, or when he was getting to it, like when he told me how they met, he dodged it. Commenter 3. Trust your gut. And keep him off your couch. If he needs therapy, see a therapist. If he needs absolution, go to church and pray. You have given him too many years of your life already. Keep dropping your daughter at her grandmother's, and try to do so before he shows up so you don't have to run into him. You need space away from anything dealing with his mess to heal, and he will never give it to you. Next time he tries to bring it up, point blank say, I don't want to hear any more about the misadventures of a grown man with an underage girl. If whatever you have to say is not pertaining to Mia, keep it to yourself. Honestly, I would go as far as saying that I am considering his visitation being supervised only, since he is into younger girls. He needs to realize that the money he spent on that girl, he took directly from his daughter. Yeah, more money can be made, but Mia's college fund could have been started with what he wasted. Sounds harsh, but maybe he needs a verbal slap to the face to see how disgusting and pathetic he is. Third update 2 months later. Hi everybody, happy 4th of July. I haven't posted in a while and I've also been off Reddit, I don't really browse much on here. Anyways, I wanted to give you all a little update because I found out a lot of information about the divorce and what really went down between Sky and Cam. But first, I want to go over some other things. If you've read my previous posts, then you'll know I called Sky's school and reported her. Well, she still attends that school, so I'm guessing they either gave her a warning or maybe didn't have a conversation with her at all, which is insane. Since the situation I explained in my last update, I haven't talked to my baby daddy. I've been trying to communicate through his mom, who has also been trying to get in touch with him, but he's off doing who knows what and nobody has heard from him. He hasn't seen Mia, hasn't texted me, hasn't come over, nothing. I won't lie, I was very worried at first, but I decided that he's a grown man, and if he wants to act like a child, then so be it. Mia is just fine with me and definitely doesn't need his weirdo bum around her. Cam has a longtime friend, Matt, 36M. They've been friends since college, so he's definitely been around for a while. My guess is that maybe Cam and Matt got into a really bad argument or something while Cam has been missing, and it must have been serious because Matt ended up texting me and completely snitching on Cam. So now I have more info about the whole affair. First off, she was 16 when the affair started, and it went on for 2 years. I only found out about it when she was 18. Cam was very controlling and emotionally abusive during the relationship with Sky. Whenever she went to parties, college events, or hung out with friends, he would constantly complain, press her with questions, and accuse her of trying to get with other men. He offered to pay her college tuition because when she started college, she was 17, and he did it to keep her quiet about the relationship. She kept telling him that she wanted the college experience and didn't want to be locked down, and that really set him off, making things even more toxic. Her parents aren't together, and her dad was super protective at the time. He didn't want her talking to boys and would often check her phone. Sky told Cam about this, which bothered him and made him dislike her father. I didn't get much info about her mother, but Matt told me that as soon as she went to college, Cam convinced her to cut her parents off. He basically ended up separating her from her parents. Matt didn't go into detail but confirmed the separation happened. Her dad ended up dying, and she inherited enough money to cover her college tuition, which pissed off Cam. He kept trying to convince her to let him keep paying because he knew once she had financial independence, she'd feel more freedom and would most likely leave him, especially based on what she had been telling him about living the college experience. Matt told me that during the affair, after this happened, things became very on and off and that she was mostly just coming to Cam for sex. Now, onto the time after the divorce when they were actually together. I guess the relationship got super toxic, and she was close to leaving. She ended up getting pregnant with Cam's baby, which she didn't want and was very upset about. She later found texts between Cam and Matt, where Cam admitted to baby trapping her. He talked about how he had messed with her birth control pills. That's what led to their breakup and his little depression. She ended up getting a termination and blocked him on everything. And to think, he was sitting on my couch venting about this, but left out why they broke up. Obviously, I was disgusted by the whole situation. Disgusted that he had been messing around with a literal child while we have a daughter of our own. And no, I'm no longer allowing him around her. Even if he comes back around, he will not be allowed near Mia. His mother has been trying to reason with me, but honestly, the entire situation is just sickening and has made me see Cam in a completely different light. I'm also super confused about why Sky stayed with him. I really do believe she enjoyed the thrill of being spoiled and playing the mistress because everything about her just gave me bad vibes. I didn't like her from the beginning. When I met her after finding out about the affair, she was super rude, so I personally think she and Cam were made for each other. Also, in my last update, I mentioned going on dating apps. I've been going on dates with a new guy, and so far, so good. This was a lot to write, so if there are any errors in here, I sincerely apologize. I always appreciate the advice and support you guys give me. /relevant comments. Commenter. Jesus. I don't even know what to say. That's not just gross, it's criminal. Cam needs serious help, and you're 1000% right to keep him away from Mia. Ops response. Yeah, I wanted to throw up reading the text. I was with him for so long, and it's like he was a whole different person I didn't even know. Commenter 2. Cam doesn't need help, he needs to be behind bars and kept away from any and all minors. You need to report him so that he can't get visitation with your daughter. Commenter 3. Sky was groomed, you keep trying to blame her. Your ex is a criminal. I'm glad Sky left, and so did you. Stop wondering why she stayed, he managed to isolate her from her own parents. Blame those who deserve the blame. Commenter 4. This says a lot about his friend Matt, too, that he stayed quiet knowing his friend was involved with a 16-year-old. I don't blame you. I would keep Cam away from your daughter, too.